Hey everyone, I'm just checking in now that we've finished Module 2. If you didn't get a chance to complete the discussion for Module 2 or you missed one or both of the responses, you can still submit those for credit. And I did put some comments about that in the gradebook. So let me know if you have any questions. Also, let me know if I just didn't find you on Mastodon. There may have been a couple of instances of that, or if you still need to complete those reading comments for Module 2, that's open as well. Looking ahead, Module 3 is open for this entire week. So the assignments are due on Saturday night, and it will be the same as what we did for Module 2. You'll have reading comments and discussion. Nope, strike that. I lied. You will have a blog post. So this will be the first time we do a blog post, and you will complete that on Medium. So if you have any questions about how to get started there, please let me know. In the blog post guidelines, I do have links to different instructions that walk you through how to join our class publication on Medium, so that you can post your make your blog posts, I guess I should say, right on our class Medium page. And that's how you'll be able to find one another's blogs so that you can comment there. Let me know if you have any questions. This week, this module spans an entire week because it is the 4th of July. So I expect that you'll be taking some time off somewhere in the mix. If you want to just get all your work done by Wednesday and have the rest of the week off because that's when the holiday falls, that's more than fine. I just set it up this way so that you can be flexible with your time. Let's see, just in terms of comments on Module 2, I did leave some follow-up questions and comments on the discussion board, and I would love to hear your thoughts and ideas, as well as a couple of those on Mastodon as well. Something I wanted to talk about was the Castro book, Radio and Revolution. Many of you posted brief comments about that on Mastodon, but fewer, actually there were no questions specifically about Castro on the discussion board. So I wanted to leave one here, and I'm going to post this video there on the discussion board as well, so that you can respond to my question if you would like, if you still need to contribute to the Module 2 discussion. So essentially, I just want to kind of think big picture. Whether you've watched the video about the readings for the class or not, what do you think the benefits of reading Castro together with Gonzalez are? So in other words, why do you think I chose to have Gonzalez, Castro, and Wasserman read together in parts in each of our modules, and what does Castro contribute about the revolution and technology that we wouldn't get from the other sources? So that's the question if you want to respond to that. So, again, if you haven't watched the readings video, just in brief terms, Gonzalez is essentially a textbook. It's an overview of the narrative of the revolution, whereas Radio and Revolution, Castro, follows the same general time frame that Gonzalez does, but looking specifically at technology and how the medium of radio was developed in Mexico during that time frame. So from the Porfiriato through the violent phase of the revolution and into the years following, that we'll be covering in our class. Wasserman, on the other hand, as we've discussed a little bit on our discussion board, contains primary sources of the revolution. So his introduction is just to give readers who don't know much about the revolution a broad overview. So it's, essentially Gonzalez's book, but in just a chapter, everything kind of condensed down. And he does that to give an introduction and some context for the documents that he included. So that's why, again, we'll be reading some primary documents along with these two secondary sources and trying to get as full a picture of the revolution as we can during the course of our class together. As we move into Module 3, we'll be discussing and exploring the events that resulted in the revolution. So a question that I was kind of following up with many of you on this time around, this week, was, if the conditions of the Porfiriato had kind of been there during that whole 34-year period. What was it about the last years of Porfirio Diaz's reign that caused a revolution, or that created the conditions for that? Um, when I took a revolutions class at UNM for graduate credit during my PhD program, we spent a lot of time talking about theories of revolution. So, what is it that causes revolution to happen? Because we can have a lot of inequality. I mean, we see some of these things in our own nation right now: political strife, inequality, people who feel like they've been locked out of the system or don't have access to the system. Um, but what is it that makes discontent turn to actual revolution? Um, there are some theories that are a bit more complex than others. My dissertation advisor had a pretty simple one. Hers was discontent, ideas plus opportunity equal revolution. And of course, each of those categories, there has to be a lot going on to result in a violent overthrow of an existing government. But I think, again, it's important to consider what were the sparks that made this go from discontent to revolution. And I saw the word inevitable somewhere on the discussion board. Historians don't like that term because one of the things we think about is contingency. So things could have worked out in a number of different ways depending on decisions people make, or conditions didn't necessarily have to be what they were. It's the way they worked out. That is the past. That is history. And so we're trying to figure out why. But it's also important to recognize most things didn't have to work out that way. So what were some of the contingencies as well of this revolutionary process? I look forward to jumping into those questions with you as we continue this week, and I'll talk to you soon.